Alex Eala, she's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I told her that. I was like, dude, I'm so excited for this doubles because I'm about to have like the most support I've ever had.
She's much more experienced than I am. I don't think it was an easy win for her, so it's very difficult.
Alex Eala and Iva Jovic have not played each other yet, and the internet is already lying about who won. On Monday, May 25th, 2026, at Stade Roland Garros in Paris, these two players will step onto the clay for the very first time as opponents. But as of right now, May 24th, 2026, viral channels across YouTube have already published fabricated match recaps claiming Eala shocked, crushed, and destroyed Jovic in a tournament-defining first-round upset. None of it happened, the match hasn't been played, and that's exactly where this story gets dangerous and fascinating.
I love the Filipino fans too, and I feel a little bit adopted when I play doubles with her.
Let's start with what's actually verified. Alexandra Eala, Alex as everyone calls her, turned 21 years old on May 23, 2026. One day before this script was written, 2 days before she's scheduled to walk onto the courts of Roland Garros. She was born in Quezon City, Philippines, and she was first handed a tennis racket at age 4 by her maternal grandfather, Roberto Maniego, who became her very first coach. That's not a detail the clickbait channels mention. They skip the grandfather, they skip the origin. Eala is left-handed, stands 1.75 meters tall, and currently holds a WTA singles ranking of world number 38. Her career high is number 29, reached on March 16, 2026. She trains out of Mallorca, Spain at the Rafa Nadal Academy under coaches Joan Bosch and Sandro Viane, with Luke Bauza handling her fitness, and her family runs deep in Philippine sports. Eala's mother, Riza Maniego Eala, won a bronze medal in the 100-meter backstroke at the 1985 Southeast Asian Games and currently serves as Chief Financial Officer of Globe Telecom. Her uncle, Noli Eala, is the former chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission. Her brother, Miko, played collegiate tennis for the Penn State Nittany Lions. This is an athletic family, not a viral trend. Then there's the Nike detail that almost nobody got right. In July 2025, Nike gifted Eala a hair tie shaped as a sampaguita blossom, the national flower of the Philippines, for her Wimbledon debut. A custom limited shirt designed by Georgina Camus followed in August 2025. Those aren't the gestures of a brand hedging its bets. That's a brand that sees something real. What Eala sees, and what the fabricated videos deliberately erase, is complexity. Her service game carries a structural vulnerability that analysts have flagged for years: inconsistent pace, limited tactical variation, and unreliable delivery under pressure. Her 2026 clay court record coming into Roland Garros stands at 4 wins and 5 losses. In Strasbourg, just 6 days ago on May 18th, Eala was eliminated in the opening round by Alexandra Eala, a Ukrainian qualifier, in 3 sets. A qualifier, that's the real story. But here's what the clickbait channels also skip. After breaking into the WTA Top 50 in January 2026, Eala became the first player to hit with Rafael Nadal since his retirement over a year prior. She described the session as intensely demanding and nerve-wracking. Think about what that actually means. The greatest clay court player in history comes out of retirement to hit with exactly one person, and that person is Alexandra Eala. And this is where things shifted, because Iva Jovic is not the opponent the fabricated videos want you to think she is. Jovic was born December 6, 2007. She's 18 years old. She's currently ranked world number 17, with a career high of number 16 reached on March 30th, 2026, making her the youngest player inside the world's top 20. Her primary coach is Thomas Gutteridge, based out of United States training facilities. But what really defines Jovic's development right now isn't Gutteridge alone. At the 2026 Australian Open, Jovic expressed a desire to meet her idol, Novak Djokovic, 24-time Grand Slam champion. Djokovic reached out, and what followed is very specific. Djokovic reviews Jovic's match footage and sends her tactical instructions by text message. Not a formal coaching arrangement, not a training camp, text messages. His advice centers on opening up court geometry, avoiding rushed ground strokes, and generating point-ending width. Guterres has turned it into a running joke, telling Jovic she should just listen to Novak whenever she won't listen to him. Jovic has Balkan heritage, Serbian father, Croatian mother, and maintains active family connections in Belgrade and Leskovac, visiting annually. Her game is built on endurance, defensive court coverage, and baseline consistency, exactly the tools that thrive on red clay. And her 2026 clay numbers reflect that. At the Italian Open in Rome, the biggest clay event before Roland Garros, Jovic reached the round of 16 where she pushed reigning French Open champion Coco Gauff to 3 sets. At the Charleston Open, she reached the semifinals. Eala didn't even compete in Charleston. The statistical picture is clear. Jovic enters this match as the higher-ranked player with better clay results in 2026 and active tactical mentorship from arguably the greatest clay court mind alive. But here's what the viral channels scrambled to erase. On May 23, 2026, Eala's 21st birthday, Jovic walked onto the practice courts of Roland Garros alongside Iva Jovic, Zeynep Sonmez, and Marta Kostyuk carrying a birthday cake. These two players are friends, close friends. They share meals during tournaments. They show up for each other publicly. They've beaten Venus Williams together. This isn't a rivalry built on animosity. It's something more complicated and more interesting than that, but this wasn't the end of the story. To understand why the fabricated videos about Eala exist at all, you have to go back to August 24, 2025, and the match against Denmark's Clara Tauson. On that day, at the grandstand court of Flushing Meadows, Alexandra Eala secured the first ever Grand Slam singles main draw victory for a Filipino player in the Open era. And the way she got there is the specific detail that content farms have been mining ever since. Eala entered as a heavy underdog against the 14th seeded Tauson. She took the first set, then she collapsed. In the second set, Eala committed 8 unforced errors in the first 5 games alone, winning just 28% of her first serve points. Tauson took it comfortably. In the deciding third set, Tauson reached 5-1, 5 games to 1. By every conventional metric, the match was over. But Filipino Americans from the Queens neighborhoods packed into that grandstand, loud and relentless, and Eala started to move. 5 consecutive games. The set reached 5-5, and then came the moment the clickbait factories have been remixing into fake matches ever since. With Tauson serving at 5-4, 15-30, Eala hit a volley directly onto the net tape. Tauson immediately called for a video review, claiming Eala's racket had crossed the vertical plane of the net before contact. The chair umpire reviewed the footage. The contact was ruled legal. Tauson, under the full weight of that reversal, promptly double faulted. The set went to 5-5. The match finished 6-3, 2-6, 7-6. The tie break 13-11 on Eala's 5th match point after 2 hours and 36 minutes. That number, 13-11, is the one no fabricated video ever includes, because fabricated videos don't do tie-break math. They do engagement math. And what happened next changed the entire shape of this story. On May 21, 2026, the official draw for the 2026 French Open was announced via YouTube Live. Eala was matched against Jovic in the opening round. The reaction was immediate. Across the Philippines, across tennis communities globally, across every platform that follows the sport. And then on May 24, 2026, one day before the match is scheduled to take place, unverified online channels began publishing fabricated match recaps. Fabricated before the match happened, before the players stepped on court, before a single ball was struck on the clay of Stade Roland Garros. The breakdown is documented. These channels published claims that Eala crushed Jovic, a dramatic upset, Filipino fans taking over Paris. None of it exists. The match is scheduled for Monday, May 25th. As of May 24th, the score is 0-0, and the Fabrication network didn't stop at Eala versus Jovic. The same operation previously spread a claim that GMA broadcaster Mel Tiangco had insulted Eala on air, calling her despicable and selfish. Tiangco formally denied it on GMA's 24 Horas on January 23, 2026. The viral image used to spread it? A manipulated screenshot from a May 2022 broadcast about voting machine failures. Nothing to do with Eala, a completely separate event, stripped of context and weaponized. The same network invented a backstage confrontation between Eala's mother and Oprah Winfrey, and a lawsuit filed by Eala against The View. Exhaustive searches of major news agencies and legal databases turned up zero record of any confrontation or lawsuit. These weren't errors, they were manufactured. The real narrative, the 13-11 tiebreak, the net tape review, the Towson comeback, becomes the raw material. The factories lift the emotional architecture of real events and attach it to invented ones, and the result is a machine that moves faster than the actual athlete it claims to celebrate.
Alex Eala. I know, it's amazing. I told her that. I was like, dude, I'm so excited for this doubles because I love the Filipino fans too.
Eala and Jovic have never played each other in a singles match. Not once, at any level, in any format on the WTA Tour. Their only shared professional history is doubles. In January 2026 at the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand, they entered the doubles draw together. Opening round, they defeated the veteran pairing of former world number 9, Elina Svitolina, and 21-time Grand Slam champion Venus Williams, 7-6, tiebreak 9-7, then 6-1. Two players in their teens and early 20s, sending home Williams and Svitolina. They reached the semifinals before falling to the third-seeded Chinese pair of Xu Yifan and Yang Zhaoxuan 7-5, 6-3. In March 2026 at the WTA 1000 Indian Wells Open, the reunion ended fast, an opening round loss to Jelena Ostapenko and Haley Baptiste 6-2, 6-2. Two results, one dramatic upset, one swift exit. Their doubles record together mirrors the complexity of the singles match they're about to play, capable of extraordinary things not guaranteed to produce them. Eala also enters Roland Garros competing in the women's doubles draw alongside Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko. Their opening round opponents, Diana Schneider of Russia and Leylah Fernandez, the same Fernandez who eliminated Eala in the opening round of the Stuttgart Open just weeks ago, 1-6, 4-6. The convergence of variables around Eala at this tournament is unusual. Multiple draws, a milestone birthday, a close friend across the net, a fabrication machine already publishing results of a match that hasn't happened, and a career trajectory, world number 38 at 21 years old and rising, that the data confirms is real, but that the internet keeps trying to outrun. The viral channels called it before the match happened. They built the emotional architecture of an upset that, as of this moment, does not exist. They borrowed the template from a real tiebreak, 13-11, fifth match point, 2 hours and 36 minutes of play, and pasted it onto a Monday morning in Paris that hasn't arrived yet. Jovic enters with superior clay court form, a higher current ranking, and Novak Djokovic's tactical instructions arriving by text. Eala enters with a vulnerable serve, a 4-5 clay record in 2026, and the memory of being the first player Rafael Nadal agreed to hit with after retirement. Both of those things are true, and neither of them tells you what happens on May 25th. The only question that actually matters, the one the fabricated videos already answered without permission, is this: when the real match finally plays out on the red clay of Stade Roland Garros, will the truth be dramatic enough to compete with the fiction that got there first?